Good morning, class. Yeah. Good morning, everyone. Let's start with a very big smile. Yes, everyone? Okay. I sang you a song the other day, We Shall Overcome, isn't it? Yeah, I sang it in English and Hindi. I've made up my own words to sing it in Kannada. When I come back to the class, to the university department, I would like all of you to sing it for me in your own language. I would like to hear it in Pushto, in Farsi, in I think South Africa it is I don't know, Dutch. Okay, I'd like to hear it. Excuse me. I'd like to hear it in that, and I'd like to hear it in Russian and what languages? What do you use in Uzbekistan, Tajikistan? Yeah, I'd like to hear it in Swahili, Eric, and Nina. I would like to hear it in Nigerian language. Don't know which language it is. Yeah, I'd like to hear it. It's a beautiful song. It gives you courage. All right. Good morning, everybody. Now we are doing intellectual property rights today. All right. Good morning, Masood. Yes. Trisha, hi, sweetheart. Trisha is my niece. Yeah. So it's a warm day. So here we are. Yeah. Uh, well, I'm talking about intellectual property rights today. I have forwarded four PDFs for you. Please open the third one. Yama, good morning. Open PDF number 3, IPR 3. IPR 3, please. Everyone is ready? Morning, Yama. Yes, Yama. I want to hear that we shall overcome in Pushto. Yes, we'll sing it in different languages when I come back. Yeah. Yes. Yes, I'd like to. Uh, who's from Comoros, man? I want to hear it in French as well. Tell her, and in Bangla, and in Nepali. Yes, wouldn't it be fun to have? Yes, yes, Masood, we are ready. Yes, good. Okay, now C class, intellectual property rights is a very important subject. Why? For two reasons, of course, for your exams. And secondly, as international business people or as MBAs, or as business managers and international business managers, we have to be aware of intellectual property rights. Any infringement, what is infringement? When you do not know and you use something that does not belong to you, is infringement of intellectual property rights. Then what happens? You are liable to get caught in legal for enforcement. It can happen, for example, it can a German citizen can tell an Indian, you are using something that you're not supposed to use. Can be international. Or an Indian can tell someone in the United States, you're using something that belongs to me. Yes, Yashaswini. You can use something that you're using something. Yeah, it's really warm today. I'm sorry. Yeah. You're using something that does not belong to you, it belongs to me. All right? Uh, so you have to be careful when you make your patents, etc., etc. So it becomes necessary to understand. Yeah, yeah, I'm getting smiles. I know. Don't distract me now. Okay, you can send all the smiles a little later. Let me concentrate on doing the this thing. Yeah, I'm so happy to see my students are all cheerful. Always be cheerful. Love you all so much. Ready? Now, intellectual property rights are provided as a protection. You look at this PDF 3, all right? We come to intellectual property rights Indian scenario. It's a academic article by a professor. I'm using it. See, as long as you don't use it for commercial purposes to make money, it is and for academic purposes, it is all right to copy or not copy, to use the article. I want to give my gratitude to Professor Sachin Mangal from Kedarnath Agarwal Institute of Management, Haryana, India. Sir, I'm using your article to teach with your permission, I hope. Yeah, I have cited you. I'm using it's from the Journal of Business Administration online. It is a 2005 article, but it's still this one still relevant. All right. Intellectual property rights are provided. You can see your PDF as a protection and an incentive to the creators. All right. What do the creators do? They create something. They are creative. All right. So creativity is rewarded when you say incentive, creativity is rewarded. When you say protection, then it is protection from others, so whose creativity could otherwise be freely used by others. See, when a creator creates something, he expects the society to use it, but society needs to pay some royalty, some gratitude to the creator. You can't use it free because effort and time has gone into it. All right. um, harmful Harmful attitude to the creator is protected by intellectual property rights. All right. There are certain limits are built in the rights granted to the creator in terms of time and space by the state. Rights are granted, of course, as I told you yesterday, for a limited period of time and protect the only the fixation of creativity in material form. Now, before I go ahead, I wanted to tell you two examples that I read in a certain book on international business. They are quite nice. So I'll let you know. The first one, this is on culture. The first one is like this. There was a person from a foreign, it was an American actually, who went to as a chief of operations to Russia. The American had the firm was working for a firm who had a subsidiary or a branch in Russia. So he goes there as a head and all that. It has been a long flight, but the Russian people are very nice to him, and they tell him, "We are having a small dinner party for you. Please attend." The American is tired, jet lag, weariness, everything. So he says, let me rest. But then, in response to their kind welcome, he is happy and he goes to the party. After a while, excuse me, yeah, after a while he's tired. So, metaphorically, he says, I want to go home. He says, the spirit is willing, but the flesh is weak. What do you mean by spirit is willing and flesh is weak? Mentally, I'm high spirited, I could wait here. Mentally, I'm prepared, but my body is feeling tired. so I need to go and rest. The spirit is willing, but the flesh is weak. This is what he says. So after he left, the Russians, I believe, this is quite some time ago, not the modern Russians who speak English, they were angry. They said, they thought he had said, the spirit is willing, meaning the vodka served was nice, but the flesh is weak, which means the meat served was of poor quality. You understand? The spirit is weak, meaning the vodka was good, but the flesh is weak means the meat served is poor quality. So they were upset. So this is one example of how language also matters in international business. There's another example I read in the same book. I cannot remember the name of the book. It was a wonderful book by some Australian authors. So they said this was an example between Russians and the Chinese having a contract in the United States. There was a firm of basically owned by Russians, and there was a firm basically owned by the Chinese. So they wanted to start some joint venture. I really don't know in which form. It was a joint venture, and they wanted to start it in the United States. So both the Russian, whoever knew something, I mean, who was I mean, he was supposed to be fluent in English. He and a Chinese man, this is quite some years ago, maybe 15 years old story. The Chinese person who knew English, they drafted something together in English, and then they went to an American lawyer to register their contract. The American lawyer reread, and reread, and he couldn't make head or tail of what was happening. He found no grammar, so he couldn't join the sentences. Yeah, so he told them so. He says it's very difficult to understand what you mean. So shall I draft it again? They said yes. So when the American lawyer drafted it and gave it to them, both the Russians and the Chinese were horrified. They said this is never what we wanted. The contract that you have drafted is not what I wanted. Definitely not what I wanted. So what we wanted. So then I believe they went back to the original contract which they had done together with each other, and then what happened is they made the contract again, and there ended the story. So they wanted the English that they could understand. The Russians and the Chinese together, they had drafted something. So that same thing was registered, not in the sweet grammatical English that the American lawyer had drafted. So these are two examples that I should have told you when I talked about culture and the importance of language in international business. I have something more to tell you. Once I wrote an article which was published by the MP Birla has a magazine journal. I forget the name. They had published it for me, and I had got repeated reviews on faculty people all over the Bangalore telling me, "Ma'am, we read your article and they liked it." So appreciation always helps, and for your work. It was something that I had written with the help of my students. Students in what way? I had students, evening students, who were working in MNCs. So I sent them some, there were students working in construction and so many other things. There was someone working for servicing some product, German product also. I remember doing interview with him, and then this was what it is. For example, I'll tell you this particular thing that this boy told me. He said, "My firm, ma'am, I work for a German firm. So when the Germans talk among themselves, discuss, I have seen that they speak in German. But Germans themselves, when they are in a meeting, even if they are all Germans, officially, they speak English. And when they talk to us, they speak in English. But I have been advised by them to speak in all the vernacular languages. And not only that, he also said that when I employ sales representatives or representatives who service our products, they are essentially told to, he is told to essentially pick people from them, those people who can speak the vernacular. Now, what is the vernacular in Bangalore? The vernacular in Bangalore is essentially our own sweet Kannada. Of course, all the South Indian languages, all the languages are sweet. Telugu, Tamil, and yeah, and such languages. Okay, Telugu, Tamil, Hindi, our national, all over India we speak beautiful Hindi. So they're supposed to pick up representatives who can speak uh, Hindi, Telugu, Tamil, Kannada, like that. If it was in Mangalore, I'm from Mangalore. So if you are a representative of this company working in Mangalore, then essentially you have to speak Tulu as well. All right. So the vernacular language is this. This is the importance of language in international business. But when I did this research, it was English that prevailed as an international language for business. All right. Okay, here we are. Intellectual property rights, I told you. We'll come back to intellectual property rights. Now, you have GATT. Okay. Prior to GATT, intellectual property rights were not subject to any formal kind of international trade negotiations. All right, there was intellectual property rights were not internationally accepted. They were not that they were not accepted, but they were restricted to international conventions like Bern and Rome conventions concerning copyrights. Okay, so these conventions required, first of all, national treatment, meaning treat foreigners as nationals. All right, you had to treat foreigners as nationals. All right, so we will not go much into it. Today's world is a world of WTO, yeah, and let us go ahead and see what are the intellectual property rights. The components are, see, intellectual property rights essentially includes the products of creations of mind. Whatever is creatively done is an intellectual property rights. Traditionally, intellectual property is divided like this. Yes, industrial property. Industrial property includes inventions. See, I need to check my notes. I cannot be talking, even one word wrong. So please follow your PDF. First, I'm talking about industrial property. Industrial property includes inventions. What are inventions here? It could be process, products, and apparatus. Process, products, and apparatus. Then industrial designs, shapes and ornamentation, and marks and trade names to distinguish the goods. Next, you have copyrights. All right. Copyrights broadly include literary work, musical works, including any accompanying words, dramatic words, including any accompanying music, pantomimes and choreographic works. All right. What are pantomimes? Like skits, dramas, choreographic works, pictorial, graphic, and sculptural works, motion picture and other audiovisual works, sound recordings and architectural works. You can check my PPT and you can see. What is WIPO? WIPO, the World Intellectual Property Organization. Please note, World Intellectual Property Organization. It was concluded in Stockholm on July 14, 1967. Under that, you have intellectual property rights like this: literary, artistic, and scientific works, performances of performing artists, phonograms and broadcasts, inventions in all fields of human endeavor, scientific discoveries, industrial designs, trademarks, service marks, commercial names and designations, protection against unfair competition, and all other rights resulting in intellectual activity, the outcome of which could be industrial, scientific, literary, or in artistic fields. Now, what is TRIPS? Trade Related Intellectual Property Rights System. So, this is important for you. Trade Related Intellectual Property Rights System, TRIPS. This TRIPS agreement is the most important development in IPR law because it was made an annex to the WTO agreement. Alright, it is related very much and connected very much to WTO agreements, bringing intellectual property under the rubric of trade for the first time. Alright, now you have to know more about TRIPS. I have given you some details. Please see there. Now, what are copyrights and how India deals with it? India's Copyrights Act 1957, as amended by Copyright Amendment Act 1999, reflects the Berne Convention on Copyrights. All right. Now, India is very much up to the mark in dealing with copyrights. The Copyright Act has been amended suitably to meet the current conditions. All right. Now, the recent amendment has brought the copyrights law in line with development in satellite broadcasting, computer software, and digital technology. All right, and digital technology. Okay, so this is about copyrights. Then trademarks. With regard to trademarks, the TRIPS agreement provides that the initial registration of trademarks. See, I'll tell you what are trademarks, what are copyrights, everything slowly. First, you just see the TRIPS agreement provides that the initial registration of trademarks and initial registration shall be for a term of not less than 7 years. We will go ahead on this and we will see. Next, very important thing is something called geographical indications. That see, the TRIPS agreement contains a general obligation that countries, it could be parties for the sake of legal terms, parties, countries, shall provide the legal means for interested parties, that is, countries, to prevent the use of any means in the designation or presentation of goods that indicates or suggests that the good in question originates in any geographical area that belongs to them. Now, instead of reading it, I'll just explain to you. Yesterday, I talked to you about wine manufacturers and who called their wine as Burgundy and Champagne. Now, Burgundy and Champagne are geographical areas in France. So, and Australian winemakers had named this is a 10-year plus story, had named their wine as Burgundy and Champagne. Now, the French winemakers and the others clearly indicated that the geographical areas of Burgundy and Champagne were in France. So they claimed that the Australian winemakers had no rights to call their wine as Burgundy and Champagne. This is one good example of geographical indications. All right, instead of you can read it, but important is to understand what it means. That's why I'm giving you examples. Industrial designs is not difficult to understand. It could be a machine invented or a part of a machine. For example, class, if you see in India, I went to a certain college, and that college had, yeah, we were having, we were in inspection, and we went to we were taken to the hostel, hostel canteen, actually, the mess. And there I was witness to seeing the chapatis being made by the chapati maker. They said, excuse me, we could make, the chapati maker was, just churning out chapatis. I don't know how many chapatis they were making per day, but it didn't require human effort at all. They added wheat flour and water, and I don't really know whether they added oil, but the result was lovely looking chapatis, and the hostel students could have as many as they want. So this machine definitely comes under industrial design. Then, if you have seen, I saw a picture on Facebook once, and they spoke about it was showing vada making machines. Like you have the, like for the foreigners who don't understand, I'm sure you understand this one, or to say donuts. We have in India vadas in the shape of donuts. The donuts are made of all-purpose flour, but our vadas are made purely of a mixture of lentils, or we call it urid dal in India. In urid dal, and maybe a little bit of rice flour to give the crispiness, and you add all the spices, like you need the fresh ones like ginger and garlic, not garlic, ginger, green chili, and maybe pepper, and maybe bits of coconut also. So they are made in the form of the donuts with a pour in them in the center. It's cute in the center. So these vada making machine also someone has invented, and when you want to make vadas in a large scale, this one. So this is another one of industrial design. And if you see a Singapore-based Indian couple, has invented a roti maker. I tried to order such a roti maker online. It costs, it's in, I do not want to mention the cost when I saw, but they told me, I was told that I have a waiting period of nearly 4 years. When I tried that, I haven't tried it again. So this is a automatic roti maker. Then you have the roti maker, which you can just press and have the rotis. That's another roti maker we have. But the roti maker that the Singaporean couple is talking about is, well, I'd like to show you the roti maker that I have. Hold on. Yeah, this is my roti maker, and this roti maker does, see, you keep a piece of a dough here. You can see this. Keep the dough here, and then you fold it, and you press, and you get if you have a round piece of dough you have kept, you will get very round, beautiful chapatis. So this is one type, but and this is also, see if you can see, this is it heats. All right, you can see it. It heats automatically. It's a beautiful machine. See, the beauty of this machine is that uh, you do not need to roll the dough like this, physically. So this is also industrial design, but the roti maker I'm talking about, made by the Singaporean couple, is that see here I would have to make the dough myself or use a dough kneading machine. So I need another machine to knead the dough, and then I need to use my hands for the making the circular shapes of dough to make chapati. So in this case, what happens is, in this roti maker cases, you just put in through the inlets the dough, whatever dough you want. It not necessarily wheat flour. It could use whatever dough you want, and then you put the oil, and the chapatis come, out. Cooked chapatis come out. So the beauty of this machine that I showed you is, I use it for making chapatis of wheat flour. I make rotis of jowar, or mixed flour of these ancient grains you call millets, including ragi, yeah, finger millet, and all these. So this is one thing called. This is an example of industrial design. I hope you understood. I've spent sufficient time on this. That on industrial design. Let's go to patents. All right. Patents. I will tell you. They all come under TRIPS. Now. I have given you some material on what happens in India, because Indian students should understand how the enforcement happens in India. All right? Okay. Now we will talk about 1 minute. I would like to go into close this PDF and go into PDF IPR number 1. All right. Open IPR number 1. It talks about what is intellectual property. Okay. Now, what is intellectual property? Once again, I will say according. Just hold on. Yeah. Intellectual property. You have to use this one. Creations of mind. You have to use the word creativity. Creations of mind. So it becomes inventions, literary. When you talk initially, when you talk about what is intellectual property rights, you have to use these words: creators, creativity, creations of mind, inventions, literary and artistic works, symbols, names, and images used in commerce. All right. As I said before, I'm repeating. IPRs are divided into the following categories. The first one is industrial property, which includes patents for inventions, trademarks, industrial designs, and geographical indications. Industrial designs and geography. I'll repeat. Industrial property includes patents for inventions, trademarks, industrial designs, and geographical indications. All right. I think I've given you sufficient number of examples for this. Let's go on into copyrights. The next main heading, division under intellectual property is for copyrights. Copyrights covers, first of all, literary works. What are literary works? Novels, poems, and plays. All right, novels, poems, and plays. Then it includes films, music, and artistic works. In that, it includes drawings, paintings, photographs, sculptures, etc. Also includes architectural design. Okay. Rights related to copyright includes those of performing artists. Please remember, performing artists in their performances. All right. If there is a comedy or a mimicry done by somebody, and that is also comes under copyrights. All right. God, it's so hot. Sorry. Right. Then if I put on the fan, the noise muffles my voice. So don't worry, I'm fine. I know if I was sweating in the class, some of my students would have got up running, adjusted the fans. I know, I miss you all, sweethearts, all of you. I miss really. It's a different experience sitting in front of you and seeing your heads nod and say, "Yeah, ma'am, we understood." And then when I give an example, you give an example from different countries and all. It's wonderful. But never mind, we will win this. Hum honge kamyab. We shall overcome, and we'll be back in the class hopefully very soon. All right. So copyright covers literary works such as novels, poems and plays, films, music, artistic works. It includes drawings, paintings, photographs, and sculptures, as I said before. Architectural design. Rights relating to copyright include those of performing artists in their performances, producers of recordings, all right, and broadcasters. Guys, I'm using, I think, IPR1, okay, PDF of IPR1. Okay, and broadcasters in their radio and television programs. All right, let me come down just a minute. um, Once again, what are patents? A patent is an exclusive right granted for an invention. A patent is an exclusive right granted for an invention. The invention could be a product or a process that provides a new way of doing something. I gave you the example of the roti maker, which churns out rotis without any effort. All right. Then, or the vada maker. All right. You mean I'm not saying of a donut maker, which is a machine that it just presses the dough into the oil. No, I'm talking about a vada maker, which makes, I think there is a donut machine as well. If you go into Krispy Kreme in Church Street, that the corner of Church Street and Brigade Road, I think they have a donut machine that you get the donuts done, like the vada maker will make the dough and it will fry the vadas and give you. It just is not just a small contraption that presses. Even if it's a small contraption that presses the dough into a shape of a donut or into a shape of a vada, even that has this intellectual property rights. The machine I showed you, my roti maker, also has intellectual property rights. I would also like to show you the Philips. Um, I have a Philips soup maker that also has intellectual property right. Let me show you the Philips soup maker that I have. Just hold on a second. This is the Philips soup maker. All right. See, why do I talk about it? Why do I show it? Why I'm showing you is for this reason. Now, suppose you want to make soup, then what do you need? Vegetable soup. Say you want to make carrot and tomato soup. So you have to cut the carrots, then you have to, and the tomatoes, you have to boil them, and then you have to grind them, sieve them, all right, and then everything it goes. Like I'm saying, you have to boil the cut vegetables, then you have to mash them with the mixie or something like that, grind them, and then you have to use the sieve for soup making. But this one, sorry, yeah, this one is very beautiful. See, it has, for example, if you see here, it has some adjustments. Everybody, can you see it? These are some adjustments that you can have. So you can make chunky soup, chunky with chunks, or you can have it fully grainy or whatever type, or very smooth soup, whatever type you want. So what you do is you open this, all right, and see, this one has a heating element, but it's very safe. The heating element is not to be touched by anybody or anything. So you have this, you can see the blade here, yeah. So what we need to do is, sorry, I haven't been using this for a long time. So yeah, this is the blade. So what you need to do is, you have to, give me a minute. Yeah, you have to put the, say, carrots and the tomatoes in this. Then you have to put it in, and you have to adjust all this, yeah, whatever soup you want. And then what we do is, we just there is a, you can see here, there's a, this is the power inlet, and you just put it on. So within a few minutes, you get beautiful soup. Excuse me. Yeah. And this soup maker is also an industrial design. Yeah. You do not have to. You do not have to use. Sorry. Excuse me. In this soup maker, you do not have to cut the vegetables separately. I mean, you do not have to boil the vegetables separately, etc., etc. You straight away put it in, and you get the soup. You do not have to sieve it, etc., etc. So it makes the process much simpler. This is also an industrial design. All right. So, patent, we are talking about a patent. A patent is an exclusive right granted for an invention, a product, or a process that provides. Obviously, Philips will have a patent for this soup maker. So, no one else can produce it or copy it. All right, no one else can copy it, no one else can make a soup maker like this and say, I have manufactured it. Okay, so then I think Philips also has a hair curler with the heat. Yeah, it gives heat for the hair, so the you do not need to use automatically it curls the hair immediately. You don't have to sleep with curlers overnight. All right. So that is also a patent. A patent is an exclusive right granted for an invention. So again, patent is an exclusive right granted for an invention, a product or process that provides a new way of doing something. As I told you, the Philips hair, this one I showed you, the Prestige roti maker, and I showed you the Philips soup maker. So these are all obviously they are patented. All right. Offers an, it also is something that offers a technical solution to a problem. Now I'll give you, see, what examples I can give you to understand. I can give you. Oh God. So the first thing is, for example, if I'm to make rotis, all right, I have to need, look at it like this, I have to knead the dough, right? Once I knead the dough, I have to make the circular shapes, and then I have to take fresh dough that is dry, spread it on my I'll spread it on the surface on which I'm going to roll the roti. And when I spread it, what happens? This dry dough will be falling all over the, apart from the platform on which, all the dough will spread. And then I have to roll each individual circular shape, and I have to fry in on heat. So the important thing is, suppose you're a working lady, or even otherwise, even working. Every mother, every wife is a working lady. Yeah, doesn't mean you have to have an outside job. I have to be excused for making that statement. Now, what you have to do is you have to clean. The cleaning becomes a very big headache, because the dough will go on to every nook and corner of your platform, as every person who has made rotis will know. Then it goes into the knobs of your gas stove, or into the crevices of your induction, because the roti carries the dry dough, and then the surface on which you're frying, on that also there is dry dough. All this will dry flour. So all this will happen. So this is the technical problem that people who make roti face. So when you have the roti maker that I have shown you, there is no question of using dry flour again. All right. Once you use the dry flour and make the dough, you can just make the circular shapes and use it on that machine. All right. And you can fry it on that surface, or you can fry it on another surface. So what happens is, totally, you have given a solution to the technical problem of, uh, yes, good morning, sir, a technical problem of cleaning, the technical issue of cleaning. You understand? So it offers, this roti makers, for example, offers a new technical solution to a problem. Now, what is the problem of making soup? The problem is, you have to be there, and there is physical labor. Like, you cut the tomatoes and the carrots, and then you cook them, and then you cook them, and yeah, just hold on a second. Yeah. You cut the tomatoes and the carrots, and you cook them, and then what happens? You put in. Hold on. Yeah. You cut the tomatoes and the carrots, and then you have to be there. Then you have to mash them in the mixie, and then you have to strain them. So this is a technical issue. What is the technical issue here? Physical labor. But when I showed you the soup maker. So the soup maker solves all the problem. What I do in the morning is, I put in the tomatoes, and I have to cut the carrots into pieces, cut the tomatoes into two if necessary, put them, and put the pepper or the salt, or whatever you want. You can use oil also, but I don't use oil. You just put it in, and you just you choose the whatever attachments you want. I mean, whatever specifications you want, put it on, and you leave the place. So by the time you finish your other work and come, the soup is ready. It takes a maximum of 20 minutes for some kind of specifications you choose. So it solves the technical problem of physical presence and physical labor. So this is the best example that I can give you, and I suppose you can understand. The same thing could be for industrial process. Some of you are engineers, and many of you have been working. So you can give me more examples when we really come back to class. So it's a new way of doing something, or offers a technical solution to a problem. A patent provides Please listen to this. A patent provides patent owners with protection for their inventions. No one can copy. Like I told you, the soup maker of Philips cannot be copied. And then for a patent provides patent owners with protection for their inventions. A protection is granted for a limited period, generally 20 years. Yesterday, I was talking to you about the company Thermos. Like we say Xeroxing instead of photocopying. Thermos is actually the brand name for vacuum flasks. Now, these vacuum flasks, for example, what happened is Thermos lost its patent after, I guess, 20 years, and then other people started manufacturing. In India, we have so many manufacturers, manufacture like Milton and Eagle and all that. They manufacture vacuum flasks. And so, what happens when Thermos lost its patent? It wanted to make a patent for some other unique product. So what did it do? It went into so it made the brand barbecue grills. If you remember, I told you yesterday, brand barbecue grills were made for barbecue, you making barbecue in your backyard, and it meant that suppose you have it electric barbecue grill, you have to pull an electric wire from your house to the grill. But what Thermos did is it made battery operated barbecue grills, huge ones, which you could take to your backyard without a long electric wire. And on the battery operated grill, you do your barbecue. See, they even made 100 or 1,000 of these barbecue stands and gave it to their employees to come back and say whether the finished product, that is the barbecued item, tasted or looked and felt the same as a barbecued item that was done on coal. So I was explaining it to you again. I'll explain again. Yesterday I explained to you how will a barbecued tomato look. A barbecue tomato would be like looks shiny, and it would have outside. It would have some burnt lines or something like that. And then as you take it and put it into your mouth, the juices would burst, isn't it? This would be a typical barbecued tomato, barbecued on, say, coal. Now, the employees came back and told Thermos whether they got the same feeling on the electric battery operated barbecue machines. All right. And then they gave again, they have a patent. So, there it is. Okay. Patents are necessary, and patents give patents give permission, to use it commercially, make your money, etc., and it stops others from using it. All right. How is a patent granted? This is very simple. The procedure you can see online. All right. Okay. Now we come to what is a trademark. All right. You know what is a patent and why it is used. Now, a trademark. A trademark is a distinctive sign that identifies certain goods or services produced and provided by an individual or a company. Its origin dates back to ancient times when craftsmen made, a painting was made, and they would write in distinctive their name. All right, they would write their name. The artist would write his or her name on the painting at the somewhere, or a sculptor would write his name on a sculpture, right? Or he could sculpt his name on a culture, as a sculpture. Sorry about that. So these are all the origins. Today's system of trademark registration and protection has evolved from ancient times. The system helps consumers like us, to identify and purchase a product or service based on whether see imagine someone is buying a painting and he wants to know whether it's genuine. So there would be a certain way in which the artist writes his or her name. See, if you read novels and all these people, how people do all this con men and all work, they say a con man generally likes, he would like to copy a painting. He's extremely good, all right, and he copies the painting exactly. But there is an element of ego in the fellow who's copying, because he wants to say that this is his painting. Now, if he makes a painting and sells, it will be good money, but then less money than what he could, like an original Michelangelo painting or something. He wants to. It would be worth much more, isn't it? Much more. So he does the Michelangelo painting, but his ego doesn't allow him to just leave it like that. Somewhere he'll write his own name in between some flower or somewhere. He'll write his own name. So a clever person can find out that it is not a original. So this is the way for it. Okay, let's go into trademarks. Okay, a trademark is a distinctive sign. Now, uh, you can read this, what is a trademark. Let's go on and say what is an industrial design. I have shown you examples. Fortunately, I have been at home to show industrial design examples. It was nice to show you the soup maker, especially. All right. Then we'll come to the geographical indication. Geographical indication, I gave you examples of winemakers in France. And finally, I told you what is WIPO also. Yeah. Now, what are the copyrights? What is the infringement of copyrights? All this is provided in the notes that I have given you, and how WIPO promotes the protection of intellectual property rights. It is there. If you require more help, I have spoken almost an hour now. See, please remember, class, intellectual property rights are very important. Not only when point of answering your exam, it is also important to have knowledge about it and how not to misuse it. We call it infringement of rights, because these legal cases can be extremely expensive, because whenever someone says, do not, you're using my property rights and IPRs and infringement of property rights, the legal cases, they will demand some kind of compensation, and this will really is not a, nobody wants to pay compensation, right? Something like this. So, class, I'll conclude the seniors class. I'll come back for the juniors class, whereby we'll do a new type of uh, problem in assignment models. So, wait 5 minutes. I need a small break, and in 5 minutes, juniors gather together, because I'm doing a new type of problem in assignment. Okay, by class, seniors, we shall overcome, isn't it? Now you have to, I'm singing it again. We shall overcome, we shall overcome, we shall overcome someday. Oh, deep in my heart, I do believe that we shall overcome someday. Now in Hindi, हम होंगे कामयाब, हम होंगे कामयाब, हम होंगे कामयाब एक दिन। हो, मन में है विश्वास, पूरा है विश्वास, हम होंगे कामयाब एक दिन. Now I'll try to sing it in Kannada, because I don't know whether the real thing is there in Kannada. It's my own. Um, well, Now, Vijaya Padivevu, like that we can sing, isn't it? If one of you can, who is very good in Kannada, can do it for me, I'll be very pleased. So tomorrow, when you give me, I'll sing it in Kannada. All right? Uh, okay. I have something in mind, but it doesn't really rhyme. Well, I would love to sing it in Kannada. If someone can help me, I'd be very pleased. And if someone can sing for me in Pushto, or your national language or Swahili, Eric, then I will, or in Dutch, Kieran and Liz. If you can sing for me in your language, South African language, or in French, yeah, I would, from Comoros, I forget your name, child. So you can, or in Russian, in the same meaning, send it to me, and I will, when when I come on Facebook next, I can, each day I can play one of your this thing. Send it to me. I would love to play, and it's a nice exercise in getting together. Now, class. Um, for the seniors, your assignment is write all about IPRs. What are IPRs? What is the content of IPRs? What is the subdivision? And what do they? I have given you the notes. Use it. I will try to give you notes on intellect. This one, what I taught before. I'll try to give you PDFs only. So use this, and your assignment would be like this: what are IPRs? Why are they important? What are the laws or acts that do it for that help enforce IPRs in India and all over the world? Okay, it's important in India as all over the world. All right. Examples are not necessary. Examples are my job. I will give it to you. I will give you the examples as and when I give you the examples, you note down so that you can use it for your examination purpose. All right. Yesterday I taught you one beautiful example of extraterritoriality. In some context, you can use this one also. All right, it's not a geographical indication; it's an extraterritoriality. If I get more examples of geographical indications, I'll talk to you tomorrow, and I will continue doing my class in international business. Hope you are enjoying. Now, last before I say bye and come back again for seniors, smile. The smile should be extremely broad from ear to ear. My mouth doesn't reach. I hope yours will reach. Yes, I can see all the beautiful smiles, emojis coming up. Take care, guys. I will say bye now because I want to come back for the juniors. Bye. Take care. God bless all of you.